Ay, ay, ay. Interesting. Four minutes to go. I'm already dying in this hoodie. Wow. Bruh, this internet is so unstable. Even the camera doesn't want to work sometimes. Ugh. There's a very high chance this gets worse when I start streaming it, so I do apologise. Hello, Jordan. How are you?
Oh, slam donkey.
Reset.
I'm very dead. I used Swain ulti to kill me though, which is so bad. Yep, GG. Oh, suck him off! Set. I died for the sins of the enemy team, actually. They used Swain ulti on my ass. And Rumble ulti, right? Yeah, they used Rumble and Swain ulti on me. What is wrong with these guys? Come on, dude. Oh. Oh my god.
You're good. I am also pretty good, actually. I slept pretty decently last night. This is going to be the World's Draw for 2021 League of Legends. So it's everybody that qualified from each region will get drawn randomly from like a bowl and get put into groups for the tournament. But it's always like the big deal. It basically kind of tells everybody what team is quite likely to win Worlds. It kind of gives you that what's the word? It gives you that kind of like intel, if you will. So I'd stream it. Try YouTube. The problem is the internet here is just shit. Like, it's so bad. Like, I wish it was just like a little bit faster. Just a touch. At least the upload. We are now waiting on LOL Esports.
2021 as we move to the main stage for the draw.
Here we go.
It all leads to this. Make
Yeah, I get that. I enjoyed your tweeting about Valorant because I have no idea what any of it means. Same with League, that's all French to me. Yeah. To be fair, that was the first time I've watched like a Valorant tournament, I guess. It's like the first time that I've watched anything professional from that. And it was actually so much fun to watch. Like, I didn't realize how fun it was to watch a Pro League. But there's another tournament coming up, which is like the Masters, I think it's called. No, not Masters. What's it called? Champions. So I'm probably gonna do it again.
This is the first Worlds
But it's good.
ever to take place in Iceland, but earlier this year we also watched MSI from this arena, ending with RNG lifting the trophy after a 5-game series. On the 5th of October, we return to this beautiful country for the play-in stage of Worlds 2021. Worlds is the pinnacle of League of Legends, the best teams from all regions across the globe gathering for a spectacle filled with rivalries, superstars, great plays, and historic moments. Before we get to the draw itself, let's get a reminder of the format and the rules for Worlds 2021.
The moment you've been waiting for all year is finally here. It's time for Worlds. To get ready, let's break down the 2021 tournament format. 22 teams will face off in 3 stages: play-ins, groups.
Because Valorant basically Overwatch, kind of.
Will feature 10
Is
teams hungry
Valorant is made by Riot, who makes League of Legends. It's their version of it. It's their. They basically want to go into the shooter game.
Latin America's LLA, and Turkey's TCL. The
But it's got like a few different tweaks to it, obviously. But it's really good.
The third-seeded team from North America's LCS, and the fourth-seeded teams from China's LPL and Korea's LCK. These 10 teams will be randomly drawn into 2 groups of 5, and each team will play 1 game against every other team in their group. The top team in each group will advance to the group stage. Third and fourth place teams will play a best of 5, and winners will challenge the other group's second seed for the last 2 remaining positions. The group stage will bring 12 new competitors to the table. The top 3 seeded teams from Korea's LCK, China's LPL, and Europe's LEC. The top 2 seeded teams from North America's LCS, and the top seeded team from Southeast Asia's PCS, alongside the 4 play-in qualifiers. These 16 teams will be split into 4 groups, with each playing against every other team in their group twice. The top 2 teams in each group after that will advance to the knockout stage. The remaining 8 teams will compete in a best-of-5 single elimination bracket, progressing to quarterfinals and semifinals. At finals, the last 2 teams standing will play a best-of-5 series. The winner will be crowned the 2021
World Champions.
World Champions.
Esports, and even more esports. Exactly. Cash money.
I'd like to welcome 4-time LEC champion and Worlds 2019 finalist G2 Esports jungler Jankos to the stage.
Hello everyone. Super excited to be here. I'm very happy that I still got to be a part of Worlds, kinda.
You are. We're super happy to have you. I'm expecting some spicy draws from you, but let's see. Before we draw the 2 play-ins groups, we're going to run through the seedings. We have 10 teams that are divided into 2 pools. The Pool 1 seeds are LNG, Hanwha Life Esports, Cloud9, and Beyond Gaming. Pool 2 consists of the Red Canids, the Unicorns of Love, Detonation Focus Me, Infinity Esports, Peace, and Galatasaray Esports. We will draw these teams into 2 play-in groups, assigning between Group A
I
and
don't
Group B.
think there's a
With that
specific
said, we will
British
start with
team.
the Pool 1 seed,
So
where
it's
Jankos
Europe,
will
which is
first
EU,
go into
which is the LEC, which is what we want to be like a really good place for the LEC. But it's Europe. Most of the teams are based around like Europe, like the Spanish Hanwha Life.
Esports into Group A.
Ooh.
No one expected Hanwha Life to be.
Oh, they're the 4th seed as well. So there's what's the closest? I think XL. I don't know if XL is still a team. XL is a British organization, but it's not. They're not in Worlds. They didn't make it. The Unicorns of Love, yeah, there's a team called the Unicorns of Love.
Was taken to 5 games.
They were actually in Europe, but then they moved to... Where did they move to? I think it was like the Russian league.
As long as they can hold on.
So they were in Worlds last year.
And incredible.
We can go ahead and draw the next team from Pool 1 to go into Group B.
So C9 is the North American team.
The first team to grow into Group B is Beyond Gaming.
Beyond.
In less than 12 months of their organization's creation, Beyond Gaming has achieved what every team strives for in making the World Championship. A lot of credit goes to Doggo, who fans should remember for his breakout performance at MSI with PSG Talon. After that, he returned to the PCS and turned into this lane-dominant force for Beyond Gaming. And with PCS's success earlier in the year at MSI, we're excited to see if Beyond Gaming can join PSG Talon and get 2 teams in the group.
What would your team if you had one? See, I don't even know. I struggle to name myself,
Go ahead and draw the next team from Pool 1.
let alone a team.
Group A.
I don't know, like... I don't even know where to begin with that kind of stuff. Who is it?
LNG.
LNG.
Into Group A.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know. Like, you get teams like there's like 100 Thieves, TSM, which is Team Solo Mid. But the only reason, the story behind TSM though, how he got like Team Solo Mid, was because Reggie, who's the team owner, would insta-lock mid. Hence, and in mid lane you play by yourself. It's only one person. Hence, Team Solo Mid. Like, it's such a like weird origin story. So I wouldn't know. What about you? What would you choose?
Teams have been able to put up so many times in the past.
And now the final Pool 1 team. Go ahead.
C9.
Into Group B.
No surprises here, this is the 4th team drawn. Cloud9 made headlines this year, signing Perkz as their mid laner, maybe the greatest Western League of Legends player of all time. This team has been up and down.
Mine would be the Fighting Mongooses. That's a strong name. I'd love to see the badge for that as well. The little icon would be to be S tier.
Outstanding. I didn't see how the mid and jungle plays from Cloud9 to see if they are going to make a deep run at Worlds.
Oh,
Time to draw the
baby.
first team out of Pool 2 to join HLE and all the LNG in Group A.
Oh, it's just play-ins, isn't it? That's why. So, wait, so where's... Wait. Infinity.
Infinity Esports are a team.
Do all the... Wait, I'm so confused.
It was a weak performance, only a
So the play-ins, right,
play-ins against
is a mini tournament before Worlds, essentially, to get a spot in the group stage at Worlds. So it's basically a chance for like all the non-main region teams to get into Worlds. And usually it's yeah, wait, the LEC, the European League, isn't actually in the play-ins this year, which is pretty decent. It means we actually have 3 teams in Worlds, definitely. It's a Futurama quote. I don't know what a mongoose looks like. Honestly, same actually. Should we have a look? Oh my god. You might actually be onto something, Jordan. They're so cute. They're like weirdly terrifying, but also not. Like, they're like meerkats, but like not. Oh damn, I think it should be that. That should be your logo. Hell yeah.
4 teams left. Go ahead and
Like a preliminary playoff. Yeah, pretty much. It just basically gives a chance for the like lower teams to get into Worlds.
Peace going into Group A.
And then it just gives them a better chance.
Aggressive playoffs run. Peace dominantly swept MSI
Otherwise it'd just be the same teams over and over again.
and then GG
same regions and stuff. It'd just be a bit pointless.
A well-rounded team with international experience in Tali and Badib centered around their fresh bot laner Violet. They excel at early objective control through proactive roams and snowballing around their support. It has been a stellar
Oh, they beat PGG. Oh, it's Peace. Oh, okay, right. So Peace are Oceanic, so Australia.
Go ahead and draw the next team.
And they beat Pentakillnet, who were a team that played at the last tournament, and they're the most like meme-ish team ever. So it'd be interesting to see how Peace do. Galatasaray.
Galatasaray
Football team.
in Group B.
This year's TCL representative is Galatasaray Esports. Galatasaray is one of the most successful organizations in Turkish football history. This is the first time we've seen them on the international stage. The roster consists of some familiar faces and new faces.
This is like the second football team I've known to like split into League of Legends, into esports, because they have Schalke 04, who actually just lost their spot in the LEC, were in it last split.
Almost there. Go ahead and draw the next team for Group A, the final team. Red Canids are the final team in Group A.
Red Canids for Brazil representing the CB LOL. Exciting
I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, honestly, it's so cool. Like, it's the one time of the year where I genuinely am obsessed with League of Legends is Worlds. Worlds and MSI, like the two main international tournaments, are the one times where you'll see me like live tweet it all, like I did with Valorant. But the one thing about both actually Valorant and League of Legends this year is they've both been in. So Valorant was in Berlin, and the League of Legends stuff is in Iceland. The MSI was in Iceland, and the Worlds was meant to be in China, but obviously with everything going on with COVID, it got moved to... It's upside down, bro. It got moved to Iceland, which would be really cool to go see it. But Schalke got relegated from the Bundesliga 2 by times all around. Yeah, I think that's one of the main reasons why they got rid of their spot in the LEC, was because of basically just finance.
the strongest roster the region has available in terms of individual talent. They won't be satisfied unless they are able to turn their wealth of experience and skill into a group stage appearance.
We have our two groups for the play-ins, which will start on the 5th of October. We are going to take a minute to reset the stage here, and then we will draw the groups for the group stage.
Alright.
Awesome.
I'm going to run down the line and I'm going to get your quick impressions of the groups and what stands out to you. So
Why don't you go see it? I kind of want to. I've always wanted to. Something that's quite funny. When I was traveling, it was in Europe again, Worlds, and the quarterfinals were in Wembley Stadium in London. And I was like, of course, like the one time I'm like other side of the world, it's close to me. But I'm quite tempted to, because apparently they've already got like a roadmap for the next few Worlds, next few years, and apparently next year it's in America, and I'm quite tempted to try and go for that.
Finally, Chronicler, you've got 20 seconds. Hit me.
It stars on Chovy. It stars on Chovy. Like, I don't know what to tell you. That is a match that everyone should be excited for. Can't wait to see those guys face off.
It's definitely going to be interesting.
I cannot wait for the play-ins draw, but very quickly we are going to be jumping into the primary group draw. So, without further ado, the last look at the play-ins draw. Let's go back to Shox on stage.
Hell yeah, let's go. So this is the main groups now. This is what we want.
Welcome back, everyone, to the draw. It is time for the group draw, and in the group draw, the Pool 1 seeds contain the top seeds of the LPL, the LEC, the LCK, and the PCS. Pool 2 contains the top seed of the LCS and the second seed from the LPL, the LEC, and the LCK. And Pool 3 contains the second seed of the LCS with the third seed of the LEC.
Do you have to have played the games to understand what's going on in the matches? It helps, but not necessarily. I know a few people that don't necessarily don't play the game because they don't necessarily enjoy it, but they like watching it. Ow! I just punched my mic. I'm sorry. Where's my mouse? But like the shoutcasters and stuff on all the commentators make it really interesting. Oh, Damwon. So Damwon are the world champions currently. Best team in the world.
To RNG at MSI, it took a long time before Damwon Kia resembled their world championship form. In a split marked for the team by lane swaps, off-meta drafts, and individual underperformance, it wasn't until the final weeks of playoffs that the team really started to get back to form. However, during playoffs, we saw the re-emergence of one of the best teams in the world yet again, with refound diversity in draft, and Baron in particular is ready to form. Having gone through a transformative year, angry after the MSI loss, the world champions are looking ready and poised to defend their title.
Next up, the first team to go into Group B. Go ahead.
EDG.
Group B.
EDG is the most domestically dominant organization in the history of the LPL. And after 3 years of not making Worlds, 2021 is finally the year they're able to add to that legacy again. EDG's big difference maker has to be Viper, who uses dominant laning phase in a massive team fighting to join veteran Scout and Mako to bring EDG another championship. As the current LPL champions, EDG are one of the favorites for taking home the Summoners Cup and adding their name to the history books. EDG coming in as one of the strong favorites.
Next up, the next Pool 1 seed to go into Group C. Go ahead.
Ugh. Our group, so we've got Mad Fnatic, Rogue. We've got a really good team, a good set of teams this year. PSG. Oh, so we've got, so LEC first seed is in Group D. Okay.
The Kings of the PCS return to the international stage after putting their region back on the map with the top 4 finish at MSI. PSG have the most decorated player in the region's history, and Maple guiding the team to a high-tempo, high-kill play style that can catch anyone off guard. Now with Unified back on the roster, PSG are power. Is looking to bring the same spear from their last international appearance to make it past groups once again.
Go ahead and draw the final team out of Pool 1.
Mad Lions. Yeah, boy.
The first seed from Europe, Mad Lions, will be looking to change the narrative coming into this year's Worlds. Last year, this org was the first European organization ever to not qualify from the play-in stage. Coming into 2020, they have done nothing but dominate. Back-to-back LEC titles, a semi-final at MSI versus world champions Damwon that went to all 5 games, and now a representative as Europe's best. The pressure is high for these young players as over the last 3 years, semi-finals appearance for Europe's first seed is the expectation. Can Humanoid, the newly acclaimed best mid in EU, lead his team to success, or will they crumble under the pressure?
Oof.
Start with Pool 2. Go ahead and draw the first team.
So Pool 2 is the second seed from those regions. Fnatic get Group A. Oh!
FPX.
Oh, no way.
2019
Oh, it could actually... Wait.
are back to reclaim their title.
So everybody was memeing about a certain pool. And it was something like Damwon, FPX,
LPL finals.
C9,
All this off the back of Dwinby having the best
something else. What was it?
picking up yet another summer split MVP.
It was Mad FPX.
Former world champion
Okay, Mad FPX T1 C9. Okay, so that isn't happening. It could still be.
with their current form, it's very
It could still be Mad T1.
FPX goes into Group B. Time for the next team out of Pool 2.
Oh, this is gonna get tense now. Everybody's gonna hate this. 100 Thieves. Oh, baby. 100 Thieves is an org that I really want to be a part of. I'd love to be a part of them.
Title after making the finals back in their first ever LCS split,
Closer's capped, bro. It's cracked as hell. Abadage as well. EU baby.
From an MSI final as a mid laner, he is an outstanding support player now. That bot lane duo is amazing. They can and they convert on those exciting.
Why what, dude? What are you whining at?
Together with EDG throughout the next
100 Thieves is like 100 Thieves is an NA team, a North American org, I should say, but it's owned by one of my favorite Call of Duty players, Fnatic.
Fnatic will be Europe's second seed this year. No stranger to the international stage, this will be Fnatic's 9th appearance at the World Championship. What's even crazier is that in those 8 appearances, Fnatic has made it out of groups 7 times. Week 2 Fnatic is something that every European fan will have heard of and looks forward to, as the organization looks to continue their incredible international legacy. However, with a brand new roster, many are still trepidatious. Whippo role swapping to jungle, a rookie top laner with Adam, can they really compete with the best? Only time will tell.
Oh man, the memes coming out of this are insane.
Fnatic lands in
Fnatic PSG, actually, that's actually not a bad. That's not actually a bad group for them, which means Gen G are getting mad. So from that, it means Rogue have to be in A or B. Oh, and it's like first come first serve. Oh man, Rogue are gonna have a tough time.
Terrifying regular split form, and unlike Spring, but they were still able to take a decisive victory over T1 and reach the finals, they went out on ceremonies. It's now been a good amount of time since we have seen Gen G, and knowing the depth of experience and skill of this team, I expect them to look revitalized and show us a convincing performance during the group stage. The underestimated Gen G is the most dangerous.
Gen G lands in Group D. That means it's time for the full 3 teams, Jankos.
Ugh, no way. This is where, like, if you've got 2 teams in the same region, they can't be in the same group, so they have to, like, move across. Is it just Rogue? Oh, Rogue is so doomed, bro.
Final seed for Europe this year is Rogue. Last year, Rogue was seeded into a difficult group, and while expectations were low, many did not expect them to finish last in their group.
Oh, Rogue are gonna have such a bad time.
Season, and we're expected to make
Damwon and FPX. Oh, it could actually be Damwon, Rogue, FPX, C9 potentially, which is disgusting.
as European fans turn their attention to the other 2 seeds. Regardless, the team looks to change the narrative, turn heads to the year's Worlds with Hansama and Inspire.
Am I giving up on Twitch now? Maybe. I don't know. It's a complicated one. I think if I do stream, I'll stream on here just to kind of get into that motion, I guess. But I'm not too sure. Because technically, at the minute, Twitch is monetized with like subs and stuff, so I can make money from that. But it's obviously a long process. But here, it's like if I want to grow this channel, it'd be better for me to stream on here because everything's in one spot, like all my shorts, all my videos, all my live streams, it's in the same channel, so it makes sense instead of trying to like pull people from all over the place. So we'll see. Is League massive in East Asia because of like 90% of Cena videos? So it's Korea, China. Korea and China are 2 regions alone. So there's the 4 main are China, Korea, Asia, China, Korea, America, and Europe. So like a lot of the winning organizations and winning regions are kind of Asian teams, but it's Korea mainly that dominates. Team Liquid.
Alfari was the big pickup on the roster. He is an outstanding top laner, especially in the early to mid game. The man demands resources, and boy does he spend them well. He is record-shatteringly lane dominant in the LCS and in his own sphere in the LCC as well. Look out for Liquid to play around top lane, to play around Alfari, and to get him to take over the map from there.
TL lands in Group D because there was already an LCS representative in Group B, leaving us with the last
T1, 100 Thieves, EDG. Oh, my days. This is intense, bro. Sneak, baby. T1.
The greatest player of all time is back at Worlds.
Faker, baby.
Faker, flanked by some of the best individual talent we have in the LCK, has made his way back. Despite being the LCK's 3rd seed, they have shown incredible highs when the early game goes according to plan. They are able to snowball the entirety of the map, rallied around their star mid lane and bolstered by their aggressive bot lanes. If they can avoid
Hell yeah, I'm so glad to see Faker back at Worlds.
regular split, will we possibly see Faker hold another trophy?
Oh, that'd be quite a run if he does that.
Group B, and that concludes the group draw. Thank you so much, Jankos. Phenomenal job. And the group stage will start on the 11th of October with 8 teams advancing to the quarterfinals. Thank you so much for joining us for the draw show, and we'll see you in Iceland.
Bruh.
Okay, so there will be more discussion as the show continues. That does wrap up the group draw. Loved watching Jankos' expressions throughout the entire thing.
Oh, how would you...
Get your quick thoughts once again. You can take a little bit more time if you want, but Freak, what is the first thing that stands out?
Fixate sneak sponsor, please. Hell yeah. I can't wait. Like, it's quite an interesting... I haven't actually seen much sneak on social media recently, but like, since they announced like the new products, the new hoodies and stuff, I've kind of seen it.
I was just cackling, like I wasn't loud just in case the mics weren't muted, but I was like, it's not TL, and then I realized it's still T1 and EDG, and it's not any better.
Okay, Lyric, hit me. What were your first thoughts? What hit you seeing the group's draw?
You know, everyone's going to talk about Damwon versus VX, Nuggery against Damwon, all that stuff, but I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to come out for Freak and say, I'm looking at that Group D and saying, I think Team Liquid can get out of it. You're up against Gen.G, I think a very beatable team for the LCS, and LCS is feeling good.
Okay. Yeah, I think overall, we're happy with the group draw.
Okay. Chronicler, what are your thoughts? What are you thinking here? Are you stressed for Gen.G?
Well, no, I don't know where this sentiment comes from, that it's going to be easy beatings for the LCS.
This guy's mic is absolutely fucked.
Doesn't have the greatest at times, and then they bounce back. I'm very excited to see Paul JJ and Rue to face off. I'm actually excited for Group B. I think that EDG taking on T1, regardless of like outcome, is just such a cool matchup between two.
You've seen loads, have you? I haven't actually seen that much. I obviously have like my activity feed, which is like filled with stuff that they do, that they'll like and retweet stuff. Like they've followed a bunch of people recently. It's quite strange. Like it's like they've got a lot of stuff in the works.
They got a hard group last year. They basically had the same one this year. So it's definitely going to be a tough one for them. But we're going to talk a lot more about the groups in a quick second. But for now, we have to have a quick break. So we'll give you all the takeaways in just a few minutes right after this short break. So make sure you don't go anywhere because there's going to be a lot more discussion, a lot more banter, and a lot more fun coming your way.
I love how everyone goes by their gamer tag. Yeah, like there's some absolutely banger gamer tags in the league scene. It's quite funny. Like one of the shoutcasters is called Captain Flowers, and he is so sick. There's Captain Flowers. Who else is there? Freak. Obviously, he's the guy that's the LCS talker guy. Who else is there off the top of my head? Oh, who was like I know them all, but like as soon as I'm like, oh, I need to like talk about it, I just lose all memory. Who else is there? Well, there's Captain Flowers is like my favorite caster. He's so good. He's so funny. He's like actually, yeah, while there's a blip in, while there's a wait in here, I'll do this. I can't spell thingy. It's so hard to like type with a microphone in front of you. Like he just, the way that he can like hype stuff up is just insane.
nicely. Ninja blocking the pass. Sonya's up. Seraph looking to turn it right back around. He doesn't have the damage. Seraph, what in the world? 1, 2, 3, 4, shoots him down.
Like, he has so much passion, and I love it.
That's what I'm talking about. Notorious, you're in trouble too. He's gonna melt. Half of it looking for even more damage. David's gonna be the 3v5. Gets annihilated.
If you can find something you love to do, just do it.
There's the game-winning possibility I'm talking about. He's still able to mount through 3. He's able to mount through 4. He's able to mount through 5. Long 2, Justin.
I don't know what's going on with this. I think that's one thing that people don't fully understand, and something that does take practice and work to be able to do, is you've got to be able to control the
Captain Fixate. That's a good ring to it, that is.
appropriately.
First blood. Envy's mid laner. This one's kind of broke, but we still got 2 of them. Oh, you have 2? I got 2 of them. Did you blow them both? Yeah. Oh, we making more plays. Double kill the mid laner. And Smithy making more damage. Here comes Alex. Back into the fight. 4 dead. Envy. They've got themselves a 3 for 4. Falling time out. Stay alive. CLG.
Hell no.
One more dead. There you go.
Like, he's just... Oh, this one's good. This one's actually really sick. This is like a base... Yeah. So basically, some context, is a base race. So each team has basically just decided to just try and destroy the other person's base. And they just don't care about their own. And it goes down to the wire.
Next is turret number 1, taking down to half HP. KT looking to end it right here, right now. Nick taking down to half. It's Shy versus Smeb in the base at the same time. Mono's going to be taken very low. Yukao barely going to be kept alive. Score taken down to 1 corner. Smeb nearly going to be killed now as well. Def taken so low. The Blade Caller's not able to find him. Def goes in a killing spree. It's the Shy still in the base. It's KT looking to try to stand and fight if they can. The Shy has made it onto the inhibitor turrets. Onto the Nexus turrets. They're going to be taken down. KT still marching. It's a base race. The Shy's onto the blue Nexus. KT's onto the red. Who's going to win? The Shy will not. And KT takes it to game 4. Holy crap.
He like almost passes out. It's so funny. Oh, it's insane. That's worlds for you. Sounds like an MMA commentator mixed with a horse riding commentator. Literally, like, it's insane. He's been quoted as like the rap god of like League of Legends, because he can just talk and talk and not stutter in like the moment of the action. It's so cool.
Yeah, of course, right? If you got the group, it's great.
Yes, because I was going to say, when I look at Group B, typically the teams that you always fear are the CIS and Turkey, right? These are the 2 teams that traditionally in play-ins actually have a very strong showing, and the fact that they're both on the same side of the group, I think makes Group B that much scarier, and the fact that DFM now kind of have this completed super team that they've been building over the years, I think the Group B in terms of like upset potential is very high, but when it comes to the best of 5s, one of those teams is going to have to play against LNG or Hanwha Life unless they can stick into the
Probably. Let's say probably, right?
It wasn't clear what it was, but awesome. Even out, like, it's even that's what I mean by like, even if you don't know what's going on, you can just get so into it. It's so good.
I still have a lot of confidence in them, especially if they are able to maintain the form that we saw of them in the Gauntlet.
That's why I love like international events. To be fair, like even just kind of like normal, like regional competition is still so good. But like when it gets to international, you have the best teams facing off against each other, and it just hits different.
Wheeler into Tarzan especially is something that personally I'd be terrified about. So it depends to what extent you can like kind of draw them into the Hanwha Life carousel where drafts are made up and topside doesn't exist.
Jordan, you had a lot of faith in LNG before the play and draw. I suspect nothing has changed.
Yeah, I think just looking at LNG surprised ever since LPL playoffs with how good they are. I will say, not just for LNG, but any LPL teams, I'm always a bit afraid of best of ones because LPL teams aren't the most disciplined, but I do think LNG got, I'll say, pretty lucky in terms of, I agree with what both Vedis and Freak said in terms of, I think all the stacked emerging region teams are on the bottom half of the bracket, and then it's just all about looking at LNG versus Hanwha. I do think LNG is heavily favored. We've actually seen the top lane matchup in the LPL before. Morgan, Hanwha's top laner, last year was in the LPL on WE. I think Ali's going to completely destroy him. I think Tarzan will have his way with Willer. And then, again, we're going to see what Chovy can do on Hanwha to try to offset all of that.
For sure. Of course, we don't have representatives from the other region. I know you're half an LJL representative as well. But of course, we can never count anyone out. That is the nature, as Jordan also talked about, of best of ones. Anything can really happen. We have seen, since we've had the system, it's been hard for the teams to make like the final hurdle when they do get into the best of fives, when we talk about not the top dogs in the group. Do you see possibility for the upset here?
Oh, I definitely do. I think that what's, in particular, when I keep looking at Group B, I think that the fact that UOL have surprised before, the fact that Turkey always seems to send strong representatives regardless of the year, the fact that DFM have built this roster, and Beyond and PSG Talon, they were 5-5 during playoffs. Okay, so if you rate PSG at all,
Who gets out of each of those groups? I think C9 and UOL could get out of Group B. Potentially, that seems like the most obvious ones. And then Group A,
I don't think it's going to be an easy ride for anyone.
Han1, maybe?
It's going to be scary.
I don't know. Han1 and Peace, I think, maybe.
Alright, we'll see what happens indeed. And we're
But I've been wrong before.
Talk about the group stage. We know 3 teams already in each group, then to be supplemented with the teams coming out of the play-ins. Yeah,
oh man, Group A is just...
back up and maybe you guys can talk a bit more about it. Freak, talk to me about where the LCS has led.
My initial reaction is thank you, Jankos. As far as I'm concerned, this is one of the best group draws that was possible. There was the coin flip of was it going to be Rogue or was it going to be Team Liquid in the group of death with Fun plus Phoenix and Damwon Kia, and it came up Rogue, so thank you, Jankos. I think 100 Thieves have a decent group for themselves. Obviously, EDG and T1 are tough opponents, but Team Liquid look well poised. The one practical thing I want to bring up, by the way, is that if the expected teams go through from play-ins, Cloud9 are guaranteed Group A because there's only one place means other teams can go. So Cloud9, if they want a really, really good bracket, they want to see Hanwha Life knocked out so that they could take their spot in Group C.
Maybe they can knock them out. That would obviously be very poetic as well.
That'd be even better.
Chronicler, talk
That
to
doesn't
me
make
about
any
Group B. I want to
sense.
talk about Gen G in combination with Mad and TL specifically.
I think that TL is stylistically a good matchup for Gen G. I think Mad is one that as a Gen G fan would terrify me. Historically, I think Gen G have had a really big difficulty, especially once it comes to like the high pressure matches against good aggressive European teams, and I don't expect it to be any different here. I do think that TL, based on what I've seen thus far, is if we see again Gen G return to form, which I do expect after the break that they've had, should still be outclassed in a lot of lanes. We've seen BDD absolutely pop off, especially during, I think, the group stage. So in that regard, I do think that they should still be favored to make it out there, but ahead of Mad Lions, that's a tall ask.
We'll see indeed. Jordan, let's go through the motions and assume that LNG makes it through, then they land in Group D. Then we have LNG in Group D, we have EDG in Group B, and we have FPX drawn with Damwon into Group A. How do you feel about the chances as a whole then on the LPL?
Yeah, I mean, coming into any event like this, I never really fear for an LPL team getting out. I think LNG, you know, is the one that if they go into that Group D, I think, again, NA Hopium here, very winnable for Team Liquid to make it out of that group, you know, probably in second. But when I look at EDG in their group, when I look at RNG having to go up against teams like Fnatic and FPX against Damwon, I think all of these groups are winnable for the LPL teams. I'm really excited to see especially that Group A matchup because
Okay, in regional leagues, I get why China and USA and Korea and Japan have their own leagues. I'm assuming it's massive over there, and then there's other leagues like the rest of Asia. How come Turkey and Vietnam have their own leagues? Is that massive in their countries? So I think, so if I remember correctly, Turkey and Vietnam. Turkey, I believe, I'm not too sure if they just didn't want to be a part of Europe. Oh no, wait. What is it? So whenever you play on, I think it's based on where the servers are, I think. So if you choose to play in Europe, it's a certain area in Europe. And then you have like, so there's EU. I play in EU West. And then there's EU Nordic, which is like Iceland, all that kind of area. And then there's EU, I don't know if it's EU something else, or if it's then just Turkey. Turkey has its own servers. So that's why it's its own region. Same with Australia, that's the Oceanic region. However, the Oceanic region has since, that whole like technical region has technically like disbanded, and it's become part of, I think, like North America, because now there's no import rule. That's a whole nother story, but the import rule was something that the Oceanic had to like register as. And then Vietnam as well, I think it's its own little region, but there's that, is it the TCL, I think it's called? They can't, because of COVID, they can't compete this year because they can't get here, because something to do with that country. So that's why, I think. Oh, that pentakill. Oof.
Here in summer, and it ultimately comes down to their mid game. They have a very tried and true style, which is draft strong laners, enable inspired, make sure the Han Sama gets a lot of the gold, and then these are your primary carries.
Insane.
In a meta that's very revolved around your support, working with your jungle.
Why is that just taking a massive fucking hit?
Have that same level of synergy, and that's where a lot of the concerns for this team come from. And I think that in a group like this, where I think that they have, with Noindy and Showmaker being the two best mids in the world, I'm just not optimistic.
I mean, I think it's fine to be like, all right, what's going to happen here? But they also carry that weight of last time around. They're for sure going to want to be good. So we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt until they play. A couple of more things. The world champion returning, T1 finally. They're back at Worlds Freak. What do you make of their group so far? EDG, 100 Thieves, and T1, and...
Yeah.
Who would slot in?
Expectation would be beyond, I think, coming in on this one. I think is the read based on how the brackets are working out. Again, if expected results come through. Again, I'll say from the NA perspective, one of the better groups 100 Thieves could get. I know if you watch a lot of LCK, you'll know that the second, third, fourth place teams out of LCK, like, they are inconsistent. So, hey, on a good day, it's Faker, and they're gonna win. On a bad day, it's Faker and 4 wards, and we know what 4 wards in a mid laner looks like. It's the LCS. We've seen this, you know, happen time and time again with good mid
Nice
laners.
meme, bro.
You know, that can be the run here. EDG, obviously, winning the LPL title. Have had their own share of stumbles, but obviously a very, very good team. EDG are just my pick.
My God, this internet.
Say, hey, that's not the number 2 team right here, but I think 100 Thieves really can shine. Their best days are really, really outstanding. I wouldn't be shocked at a 5-1 record for 100 Thieves. Like, that's realistic. Yes, it's the top end of realistic, but that's a realistic showing for 100 Thieves out of this group. And we're going to keep the LCS perspective going, where they split with EDG, and T1 just doesn't quite show up.
LCS has not had a good streak with international.
I mean, enough said. I did see.
He's good.
He's great.
Riot buffed Karma. If you didn't watch week 1 of the LCS summer split, he played 3 straight Karma games. They just played around closer, and it looked good. Like, Avidaga has a really, really good champion pool. He can play the assassins. Akali probably out of meta. There's not a lot of great mid lane assassins outside the blog, but he can play full support. I think Karma's actually probably a decent option at this point in time. So, like, closer's going to pop out. It's going to be fun to watch.
I love it. I did see Chronicler smirking at the call of, you know, this group and how it's going to play out.
I just want to object to Faker and 4 wards. If you have one of the best supports in the entire world on your team, I don't know if that's ever fully justified. I do agree with you that T1 have shown some inconsistencies, but I think it's important to note the context in which these inconsistencies happen, right? I think that After last MSI, there was a lot of talk about the LCK being a one-team region, and while I think Damwon are still by far the strongest, we've seen a really big resurgence of LCK levels overall. And the fact that T1 not only made it to finals, but took a game of the Damwon looking as good as they did, I think is a clear-cut sign that, while I don't know if they'll pull ahead of EDG, I would be shocked if they don't make it out of this one.
It's so cool, and I just am reminded again of the fact that, you know, the LCK having 4 seeds and the LPL having 4 seeds, that is just, it's like a mountain to climb, it seems, for any other region, right, Vedius? But we have some great groups, and hopefully with the meta changes and whatnot, some explosive play.
Yeah, and, you know, everyone's got to talk about their groups. Mad Lions.
Ah, yes, sorry, go ahead.
Free! It's free, I love it, okay? It's, I'm really excited for this group for Mad Lions. I think that Mad Lions' actual biggest issue has been their early game, and I don't think either of those teams are as capable as punishing Mad's early game as other teams would be that they could have gone up against. So I'm actually really optimistic for Mad. This may come back to bite me, but this is probably their best group. Of course, coming into the quarterfinals, if they make it there, their opposition will then be very, very difficult. Yeah, I'm really excited to see what this team can do. I know that they obviously couldn't qualify from play-ins last year, but in particular, Humanoid is the player that I think a lot of us are very excited to see back on the international stage. He has grown so much as a player over the years, and this year, and this split especially, he's cemented himself as the best mid in Europe in terms of what he does in lane, how he roams around the map, and with the introduction of Elyoya by his side and Kaiser looking phenomenal,
Armut.
Definitely be one of the favorites to get out of the group.
Oh, absolutely so, the favorites indeed, but we'll see how the cookie crumbles, because it never crumbles the way you think it's going to. With that, I'm going to leave it to a last note from every single one of our analysts to represent their region. Freak, you can start. The word to the NA faithful before Worlds.
Listen, the NA faithful, this is one of the best draws we could have seen. Realistically, if you still have LCS Hopium, this is a decent look for this year. I think every one of these teams can have a look where you're like, hey, I can see the run going. We've seen favorites crash and burn, and we've seen teams that are underdogs have the good run. So I think this is a solid draw. I think this is a good year for the LCS. And if you believed at any point during the year, you can still believe now.
Absolutely. Jordan, the LPL.
I think any draw would be a good draw for the LPL in the end. But if you're an LPL fan, I think that the great thing about this draw, we got a lot of sexy matchups. We got FPX going against Damwon. We got T1 going against RNG. And, you know, speaking of RNG, I'm just going to end the note of following Freak's boldness from earlier of predicting Team Liquid to win Worlds. RNG are winning Worlds this year. It's pretty much locked and loaded. They already won MSI. Let's go LPL.
Chronicler, the LCK.
Yeah, I don't know how RNG or Liquid are winning Worlds when it's clearly going to be a Damwon Kia versus T1 finals. I don't know what you guys are on about, but obviously that's happening.
Oh no.
Free
That's a quarterfinal at best.
As could be.
Yeah, here in Europe we're usually realistic.
I'm very optimistic about the chances for T1 and Damwon, and Hanwha. If they do well in play-ins, I could actually see them make a deep surprise one as well.
Thaddeus, what's the bare minimum? Is it 2 teams in semifinals?
All right, Europe. There's no G2, so there's no chance. You guys know the drill. We don't stand a chance. You know, you're going to have to pick your favorite LPL team to support. You know, it's just how it is. Except for the fact that we're going to smash everyone. Got him! Easy debate. Europe. Fnatic is easily going to make it out of their group. and who? Exactly. Fnatic, top of their group. Mad Lions, clearly knocking everyone else out of their team. Rogue, they look like underdogs, but actually they're called Rogue. Clear backstab. While FPX and DK fight for second, Rogue will be sitting top of their group. So Europe, we'll see you.